Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I don't really hear very often, something that I wish I heard when I started trading. If I'd heard this, I'd probably be way more prepared. See, most people come into trading just thinking, okay, all I have to do is learn technicals and then it should be a smooth sea. But the thing is, on top of psychology, there's also things that happen behind the scenes in trading that you have to be aware of, that you need to be prepared for. No boxer goes into a fight thinking he's not going to get punched without knowing about his opponent and how strong he is or what he can potentially do to him. You have to research the field that you're going into and you have to do your due diligence. Otherwise, you're going to be left none the wiser. So today we're going to be talking about what happens behind the scenes in trading and in the markets and what you need to understand before you actually start trading. The first thing you need to understand is the market is not here to give you good conditions. It's not a charity that's going to pay you money or give you money for free. You have to understand the market is here to take your money and take it from you every time it can, in any way it can. On top of the fact that there are shady brokers, shady prop firms that add to this as well. Now, when you come into the world of trading, you're pretty naive. And then on top of that, you start getting some experience. You probably start thinking, if I just understand technicals, I should be plain sailing. I should be good. Then you start to learn about psychology as well. And you start to realize that you're self-sabotaging. You're getting in your own way of success. Then you start to work on that. Now, I believe psychology is very, very important to work on. But in between that, there is also something that you need to be aware of. See, trading is a survival game just as much as it is a making money game. But the truth is, most people can make money in this market, but they can't keep it. They can't survive long enough to see long-term growth. So what I really want to emphasize in this video is survival over perfection. Don't try to be that perfect trader that gets perfect results. All you can do is operate at your best. This doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes. This doesn't mean that you're not going to take losses. It just means that you're doing the best you can. Just like somebody that plays sports. He tries to play at his peak performance so that he can get the most out of the game. So there's three things I want to speak about and bring light to that you need to prepare for. One, understand that the market moves in cycles. Some days it's going to pay, some weeks it's going to pay, some months it's going to pay, some days it's not going to pay. Some weeks you will take losses, you will go on losing streaks. And this is completely normal if you're following your plan. See, where you need to be careful is getting caught up in thinking you have to change something every time you start losing. This doesn't mean you don't have to adapt if there's new conditions. For example, last year, when Trump came into presidency, the market changed for sure. But it doesn't mean you have to now change your whole strategy and jump to a new mentor or a new strategy. Sometimes just a few tweaks is what can help you actually move forward. And if you have some experience in trading, you should be able to notice patterns in the market cycles that change. Perhaps you need to hold for shorter take profit. Perhaps you need to extend your stop loss a little bit, change your risk a little bit. Perhaps you need to hold a bit longer. What you need to understand is when a losing streak inevitably comes, it's about adapting and surviving. Don't throw all your toys out the pram. Don't have an ego. Don't start thinking that market owes you something. Don't overthink the whole process. Many people get lost here, and this is where majority of people lose. They believe that they're supposed to win all the time and that the money is guaranteed. And now, when a bad cycle comes in or they start losing, they blow their whole account. Don't let one bad trade become a blown account. Don't let all that work that you've put in go to waste. If you take losses, take a break. Come back the next day or the next week. If you can survive through the storm, then you can make it long term. I remember hearing this quote, when trading becomes boring, that's when you'll become successful. See, most people are trying to get stimulated from the markets. They watch the charts going up and down, they watch their P&L floating up and down, and it moves them in some type of way. And then this causes them to interfere with their trade or react. Where now they get greedy, or they get fear, or something else. So to negate this as much as possible, trading needs to become mechanical, systematic. When your trading becomes boring, that's when you're going to see success. That's when you're going to see real progress. And that's when you're going to see profitability. Traders fail because they don't adapt. They're not flexible with their mindset. When they go through a good week, a good month, they think it's always going to be like that. When they go through a bad week, a bad month, they also think it's always going to be like that. And this is what leads traders' results to swing left and right. 1 minute it's going good, 1 minute it's going bad. What you need is to stay neutral. And staying neutral means following the process day in, day out, and not breaking your rules. Because I'll tell you this, bad market cycles doesn't mean your edge is not necessarily working. It's just testing your discipline, it's testing your psychology. Are you going to stick to the process until it pays you, or are you going to start searching for the new shiny thing? And this is the part where I'm going to say, if you're a trader that doesn't follow the rules, that doesn't follow your process, let me warn you right now what's going to happen to you. See, there's going to be certain times in the market where the market is actually paying you. You're going to make mistakes. You're still going to make money. You're going to not have a stop loss. You're going to remove your stop loss or follow into trades. You're still going to make money. But then the market is going to change. See, the market has these good conditions to lure suckers in. When those suckers are in, then it pulls the rug and all of a sudden the conditions change. And in that moment, you blow your account because your emotions start to spiral. Your ego takes over. You don't like being wrong. You don't like losing. And you're confused at what happened. What's going on here? I was just winning. I was doing this before. It should be working. Whereas if you treated the market like it was an enemy, like it's another fighter in the ring trying to box you, and you know you're going to get hit, you'd be prepared. You'd have your defenses up. And you wouldn't get overconfident that you can't get knocked out. Because that's what blowing a challenge or blowing your account is getting knocked out the fight. Now you have to go, you have to work your way back up again. Build your confidence, build your capital. And I went through this so many times. And I realized in the end, I'm the problem. I keep doing random stuff and thinking that this random stuff I'm doing is going to get me results. When I actually stuck to the process and I stuck to one way of trading, one set of rules, one way of taking profit, and one way of risking, that's when I started to see results. So understand the market is out to get you. There's going to be liquidity stops. It's going to show you a setup and then not tap in to get you to FOMO in. It's going to do so many things to mess up your psychology. You have to stay grounded. That's the first thing you need to be aware of trading. So that's one thing. The second thing is prop firms and brokers. See, prop firms and brokers are businesses. They're not charities. They're there to take money, to make money. When I started trading back in the day, I was dealing with shady prop firms that would do weird stuff. They would slip you like crazy. They would mess up your entries. They would add fees to withdrawals. They would add time restrictions to withdrawals and all sorts of weird stuff. So sometimes they deal in shady practices. Sometimes they will stop you out. Sometimes they will add rules that don't make sense. Sometimes they will give you bad conditions to trade with. Does that mean you can't make money? No. So many people make money. What they've learned to do is trade within the parameters. See, they understand the game. They know that prop firms aren't there to just dish out money to them. So they trade within the rules. They extract money. They extract profits and they don't get complacent. So you're starting to understand why having strong psychology and sticking to the process is important. Because imagine you have those two things and now, number three, you add you on top of that. You're already in an environment where the market is trying to stop you from making money. Then you have the prop firms and the brokers that are trying to stop you from making money. Then you have yourself self-sabotaging and not following rules. What do you expect is going to happen with all of this stuff going on? Do you think you're going to be able to make money? Of course not. So I had to realize over time, market conditions are not fair. Prop firm rules and brokers are not necessarily fair either. So where can I have an advantage? Where can I have an edge in this game? The edge that you have is in following your rules. Of course, you have to have a strategy that works and makes money. The edge is in following that strategy, not in doing what you want and being emotional on the charts. That's not how you're going to long-term make money in this game. Now, let me give you an analogy. When you get into a car, for those of you that drive, you wear your seatbelt, right? Why? To protect you from the unfortunate event of a car crash. Now, is it that you're a bad driver? Not always necessarily. Sometimes the seatbelt is for you if you are a bad driver. But more often than not, it's because there's other bad drivers out there and sometimes things just happen. So what is that? Preparation. It's knowing the game. It's knowing what driving comes with. It comes with the possibility that you may end up in a bad situation. But yet, when we come to trading, we don't make those same preparations. We think markets are there to pay us and they owe us something just because we're learning some technicals. I had to shed this mindset before I became profitable, before I started to see progress. And you need to shed it as well. Stop thinking that the market owes you and that the market is there to just give you money and there's no traps at all. There are many, many traps. And the reason why trading has such a high failure rate is because people don't prepare themselves for the traps. They don't put their seatbelt on. They don't pay attention and they don't learn. They come in thinking trading is easy and it's a get-rich-quick scheme and they're going to make all the money in the world. And that simply is not the case. So for those of you that are still struggling with trading, What's the difference between you and a professional trader? Or you and the trader you want to be that makes money, that gets payouts? The trader that you're trying to be is a disciplined trader. He follows the rules and he respects his money. He doesn't just blow his account because he's angry or because he's expecting something to happen. So you have to trade what you see, not what you think. He knows what trading comes with. He knows there are traps designed to make him lose money. And he's prepared for this with his risk management plan and his trading plan. And he knows that if he sticks to the plan, he should be able to navigate through the murky waters, through the traps. He has good psychology. He doesn't FOMO. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't revenge trade. And he doesn't over risk. He sticks to his rules. And he knows over time, he will scale up. See, if you want to make more money, you just need more capital. Stop trying to use that one account or that one trade to make all the money that you need so you can retire from your job, or so that you can live this amazing life, or so that you can take a screenshot and put it on social media. Step by step, brick by brick, trade by trade. That's how you're going to get to the life that you want. So I'm going to leave you with this. The market is not fair, and stop thinking that it is. Prop firms and brokers are not charities. So stop thinking they're going to give you money for free, for nothing. They're trying to take money from you. Remember that. And lastly, your rules are there to protect you from losing your money, from losing your head. The goal is to survive long enough to see profitability. If you can stay in this game long enough, you will eventually see the results you're looking for. So that's been today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Share with a friend who has bad psychology. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.